Our next DVD release made over $274 million worldwide against its budget of $85 million. It was a huge box office hit, and now you can watch it in the comforts of your home. Joining me is Jim Ferguson, and you guessed it, talking about Divergent. Jim, how are you?
It's good to see you, Zach. I'm fine. It's a great time for movies because, as you said earlier in the throw, that it's hot out there.
It is hot outside, and there's nothing cooler than an air-conditioned movie theater.
Exactly, and to talk about a now DVD release, Blu-ray, Divergent, which is the producer of the show, Allison Sheets. We never see her, but we can talk about her.
That's right.
She and I loved this movie.
She told me about that earlier. I've never seen it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's shot, it's futuristic, and it's shot in Chicago, a destroyed Chicago, and Alice and I are both from Chicago, and we love the sets and the way they shot this thing, you know. But it's just a great story of how the world and society has been divided into fractions, and Shailene Woodley is the daughter of a prominent politician at that time, but she doesn't fit into any of these groups, so she's a divergent. Here's Shailene.
Divergence threaten the system.
No matter how fast you run.
Shailene, so nice to see you again. What a great job you did in Divergent.
Thank you.
The fact that it was a bestseller written by Veronica Roth, popular all over the world, did that, as an actress, put a little bit of added pressure to get it right?
Nah, you know, you can't really pay attention to any of that external pressure because then you'd be creating a movie for other people and not for yourself. And I feel like all art has to stem from your own internal well of creativity, and yeah, so no, I didn't really pay attention to any of that.
That's good advice for an actress. A lot of actors don't even read the book before they do the part, you know what I mean? Because they don't want to be influenced a certain way.
Yeah, I've done a lot of movies based on, or a lot of movies. I've done a few movies that have been based on books where I haven't read the books, but I feel like for this one, because it is such a direct adaptation, the book was actually extremely helpful.
Your character, Triss, is labeled a divergent. Why are they considered so dangerous?
I think what makes you different makes you dangerous, right? What makes you different makes you weird. And I think that in this movie, Janine Matthews, the antagonist of the film, is out to get divergents because she can't control them, and she feels like she doesn't know what they're thinking. And I think that you can sort of relate it back to life right now, right? Like, the people who are sort of ostracized the most are sometimes the people who are making the biggest change in the world, but are considered strange because they're doing things that the mainstream isn't doing, or that social media doesn't agree with, or that A, B, and C doesn't agree with, you know? But I think it's important to listen to your own heart and beat to your own drum.
I'm going to take you somewhere you haven't been today, and that's not easy to do.
Okay.
I was a high school teacher in the 1960s, social studies. And we had in the I was in college in the 50s, and I was a teacher in the 60s. We had a thing for students all across America called tracking. Tracking, they would put you in a certain school. Why, I don't know, but some kids were put in vocational schools to be mechanics. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
The thing about this film is that the test tells you where you're supposed to go, and then you can still make your own decision. You can still, even if the test tells you one thing, you can still change your mind and listen to yourself. But one thing I loved about Triss is that the test didn't work on her, and she had to really dig deep and figure out what her deep heart was craving, what her true instincts wanted.
And she looks really familiar, Jim.
Yeah. Descendants.
That's it.
With George Clooney, and The Secret Life of American Teenager.
And that was...
Recognize Shailene?
That's right, and that was quite the success based on the budget there.
Yes. Oh, big success. Yeah.
Make the studio happy.
And the DVD is going to make a lot of money, too. But speaking of making a lot of money, coming up this Friday being released is Hercules.
A guy named Bret Ratner knows about that.
He does. He's one of the most successful directors, producers in Hollywood today. Remember Money Talks and Rush Hour and Jersey Boys he produced, and now he's directing The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, in Hercules. Here's Bret Ratner. Would you agree with me that this Hercules, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, is easy to like?
It is. He's easy to like. He is such a great guy, and he emanates that on the screen. And, you know, most of these movies, these sword and sandal kind of epic films, are very serious, very dramatic. We have that, but it's also fun. And he's the one who makes it fun.
And you do such a good job. Was it difficult to balance the action and the humor?
No, it was incredible. I mean, the scope of this movie, it was like, I wanted to make a kind of Cecil B. DeMille epic kind of classic.
It has that.
Yeah, but what comes with it is the thousands of extras, then the horses, then the horse trainers, then everything, it just piles on top of each other, and the battle sequences are huge. I mean, on one day we probably had 1,500 to 2,000 people on set.
And you're going to have more of that on Friday.
Yeah, and he said, Bret Ratner said that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was born to play Hercules. I totally agree, and we'll have The Rock on Friday.
And he certainly, size-wise, he fits the mold for Hercules.
We have a giveaway.
We do, and right now we have a Frozen on Blu-ray, DVD, digital, HD to give away. If you want a chance to win, just head to SaturdayMorningBlend.com and click on the contest page.
Oscar winner.
That's pretty awesome right there. Thank you so much, Jim. Now